Hit Cock 45 here, your internet shooting companion, about to shoot. Yes, your internet shooting companion here in Tennessee, the beautiful hills of Tennessee. Aren't they beautiful behind me? The home of Alvin York. Who else? Elvis Presley, Johnny Cash, oh my gosh, Dolly Parton, you name it. Isaac Hayes, I think. Some of those people weren't born here, but they lived here a long time, or they recorded here in Tennessee. Okay, so we want to say hi to them and honor them, and boy, there are a lot more. Yeah, might even shoot a Colt single action in their honor. You think I ought to? Good to talk to you. It's been over a month. You know, there's been a time or two I thought, oh, maybe I'll do a shooting the breeze. We're not doing any other videos today, and I've got a little time, and I thought, well, you know, I don't know, do I have anything to say? Do I ever have anything to say worthwhile? I know that is kind of a joke in itself, isn't it? Yeah, I won't do a vlog, a shooting the breeze, unless I have something really worthwhile to say. So I wonder how many shooting the breezes I would end up doing in a year. Half of one, maybe. Again, though, for new folks, it's just a chance for me to sit and yak. You know, some people, that's kind of all they do, you know, when they do videos, put them on YouTube. If you look around, now they may be a lot more clever, you know, than I am, and they are very humorous or whatever it is. They may have 10 million, you know, subscribers, and that's all they do is talk to the camera. But then there are a lot of people that just talk to the camera about something and create drama or, you know, whatever, make up stuff, you know. So I don't like to do that. Yeah, we shoot mostly. But it is, I see the appeal for people who really don't do anything. They'll even get out of their apartment or their house and they just do a lot of like talking videos. They talk to their audience. Or it's kind of fun knowing a lot of people hear you, I guess. Okay, maybe you're influencing a lot of people about something, you know, politics or, you know, whatever it might be, or at least you think you are. So anyway, talk about a few things. I got a couple of things that might be worthwhile. Been shooting the Glock 43X and the Glock 48 quite a lot this week, John and I have. And what else? Well, some other guns and some other things we've done videos with. I'll talk a little bit about that. SHOT Show, and who knows what else, right? So before I go too far, though, I wanted to thought early on, since most of you click out after 5 minutes, right? No, you don't. No, you don't. Because you want to see this beautiful firearm fired. No, actually, I'm not baiting you. I'm not going to fire it. I'll tell you a little bit about it. It's a Cavalry model Colt, U.S. Cavalry, okay, 1883. And if I did fire it, it would need to be black powder cartridges, right? So I'll tell you all about this baby. Kind of the holy grail of Colt single actions. Even though this one's a little worn, I mean, it's not in perfect shape. It's still kind of the holy grail of Colt single action Army revolvers, I think. And of course, whatever I think is true, right? Yeah. It's getting a little windy. Can you believe it? It is February the 7th, and look, short sleeves. Of course, that's going to change tonight. It's going to be a high of 39 tomorrow, I heard. So enjoy it while you can, right? But yeah, before I get going too far, I wanted to just say a couple of things, and maybe I'll mess it up, and maybe I'll create more drama and get more people upset. I don't know. At this point, I don't really care. You know, some people are going to find drama. If they want to hate me or they want to hate you, they're going to find a reason to do it, right? If they're going to hate, if they want to hate President Obama, for example, they're going to hate him no matter what he says. If they want to hate President Trump, they're going to hate him no matter what he says. That's just the way of the world, right? Especially where so many people seem to live for drama these days. They need to get out of the house more, I think. But anyway, especially for you, most of you, our loyal viewers. I say loyal, but you know, if you're watching stupid things like this, you must come around probably pretty often. You don't think we're total idiots, or maybe you just watch to make yourself feel smarter because we are such idiots. Yeah, there's some value in that too, right? And for younger people, maybe, or especially. People who just discovered us, don't really know what we're about yet. We have 1,700 videos and lots of 100 radio shows, I call them, where I just yak, for an hour, whatever. A lot of vlogs John and I have done together. How many Shooting the Breezes now? 30 or 40. So people have been around a while, kind of know where we're coming from, right? They even know us probably better than we know ourselves. You reveal things without realizing it about yourself when you're yakking all the time, and you're on video for hours and hours every week probably. But anyway, yes, there's a lot of controversy, of course, right now around, say, the NRA. And we don't work. I'm not an NRA employee. We're part of the membership drive, as I've always been, really, officially or unofficially, been a member forever. And in fact, with all the hoopla lately, I increased my membership and forked over the bucks. And I don't know if you can still hear me. The wind blowing. Maybe you don't want to hear me. Let me fix this. I'm not going to cut the thing. I've got a windscreen up here, and I don't know if it's helping or hurting, but I'm going to make sure it stays up here. So we'll see if the windscreen and all that does any good. Oh no, I laid my pistol down in the dirty, wet leaves. It's probably happened before since 1883, don't you think? But again, I'm not an employee of the NRA, and I just wanted to kind of let you folks know where I'm coming from, and then John too, pretty much. I won't speak for him, but he kind of feels the same way I do. And he's 30 years old, so it's kind of different generations who kind of feel the same way. And believe me, I don't overly influence him. He thinks for himself. No, that's an understatement. But just want to let loyal viewers know, and new people, maybe you're still trying to figure out, well, what's this stuff about the NRA? And I've been thinking about joining some of the gun rights organizations, and it seems like there's a lot of drama right now, and I'm not sure what to think, because I don't really know what to think. I hear this and I hear that, and of course nobody really knows everything, right? They think they do. But anyway, from my perspective, I just wanted to let you know that again, I don't work for the NRA, but we are a part of the membership drive, and I've been a supporter and will continue to be a supporter. And that's the question. You're like, well, why, Hickok? Haven't you heard? They want to ban bump stocks. They want to ban this and that, and they're all for the red flag law, and they're writing the red flag laws and all this kind of stuff. Well, it looks like that, doesn't it? And I don't know. Maybe some I don't know everything. I don't know. Was there a conspiracy behind 9/11? Did Bush blow up those buildings? A lot of people think those were not even real airliners. A lot of people think that Sandy Hook never did occur. There's all, you can find places all over the internet where people will convince you and show you pictures that Sandy Hook didn't happen. That again, those jets were not real airliners and all. There's just all kinds of stuff out there. You can almost prove anything, at least to a certain segment of people, right? So who knows what's true anymore and who knows what's not. And I make light of it a lot, and maybe I shouldn't. I don't want to insult anybody's intelligence. Everybody has their own opinion on everything, of course, and has a right to that, just like I do. But anyway, just so you don't think I'm a total idiot or John's an idiot, or we're clueless and we ignore everything. Here's the kind of the deal that I look at. I've been around a long time. I've worked for, there's advantages and there's disadvantages to being an old guy, right? Just like same for being a young guy. Advantages, disadvantages. Young gal, old gal, whatever. I've worked for a lot of companies. I've taught in 2 different schools, 29 years. I worked for about 3 or 4 different companies, publishing industry, for 10 or 11 years. I had my own business back in the early 80s for a little while. A service business, painting, actually. And as I was between careers, and did really well at that, actually. This is kind of a career. I played college basketball. I've worked to get myself into position to do a lot of different things. I don't. Anyway, and I've met a lot of people. I've worked with a lot of people at a lot of companies, different schools. I've taught over 2,000 students, 3,000 maybe, engaged them on a daily basis, parents. I just, one of the advantages of being around, and I've read a lot, I've observed a lot. I'm kind of an observer. I like to watch people. I've always had an interest in psychology, kind of what motivates people, groups, the whole 9 yards. I am not the smartest person on the planet. Don't give me an IQ test, please. but I'm kind of an observer, like I say, of human nature. And if I have an ego, if I'm going to be egotistical, I definitely don't think I'm smarter than the next guy. But sometimes I think I see things that some people don't, or at least I'm looking for it. Things that other people don't want to see. Or maybe I'm a little more analytical. I see both sides of things maybe better than some people. Again, I'm no smarter, but everybody's different, and a lot of people are quick to jump to conclude. Anyway, and I'm not here to defend any organization right now. I just want to let you know kind of where we come from. I have a story for you. I thought of this lying in bed before I went to sleep the other night. And you can't argue this. I don't get into contests, arguments, and debates on the internet. I'm finished with that. I don't even get it. I quit doing that like 30 years ago, even with anti-gunners. I can't change their minds. I don't. Just represent the firearms community as best I can, do a lot of videos and showing the fun of shooting. You can't change those people's minds. If somebody's on the fence, you might. But, finished with that a long time ago. I don't try to change anybody's religion or their politics or their views on things. Hey, do what you want to do. Just don't interfere with me, please. That's kind of me, my libertarian, in me. I want to tell you a hypothetical story, okay, for people who haven't thought about this. Now, people who have, and they're convinced that the NRA is evil and they're behind 9/11 and everything else on the planet, just go do something else. But I want to, for people who kind of wondering about this, or you're kind of new, I've got a story for you, because a lot of people think that like the NRA, and I have no evidence one way or the other, they wrote all the NFA laws and they're responsible for every gun control act that ever came along. Okay, well, if that's true, why did the board of directors not seem to know that? Why don't they resign? Where's Ted Nugent? Of course, he's a little crazy, right? But why did he resign? Does he need the money? I don't think that even pays anything. So it's all kind of, again, I observe human nature, and it's like with conspiracies. Somebody brings me a conspiracy. Oh, Sandy Hook's a good example. Okay, yeah, that was all made up, or that was fake. What about those parents I've seen interviewed after that happened, that all torn up about that? And what about the police in that area, in that whole state? What about everybody in that area, in that whole state, or in that part of the country? Did you fool everybody? What about all the journalists who live to get a breaking story and a Pulitzer Prize? Woodward and Bernstein. I mean, if you can break a story, or if you can get the truth on something, wow, that's your career. You're a star. And there's only about how many? 50,000 journalists working to do that. Probably 2,000 in Connecticut. So I don't know. I wasn't there. You can show me all the pictures you want. You can show me all the conspiracy theories you want to. But again, human nature, the way the world works, how many people did you have to get in on that conspiracy to cover it up? That was fake. and to a large extent, the same thing with 9/11 and a lot of other things that have happened. Now, there could be different people behind something, obviously, that we don't know about. It really happened, but the motivation or the bad guys are not who we think they were, and that sort of thing. I acknowledge that, but some people just don't make sense. But I've got a story for you, for the folks that think that, and my God, I hope that's not the case, that like the NRA is busy trying to, they're actually a covert operation trying to create more gun control, you know, and that sort of thing. And they're writing this law and that law, and they've been doing that for a long time. Yeah, right. Okay, fooling a lot of people, huh? Here's kind of the source for some of this. That's the main point I wanted to make, and I'm going a long way around the barn as usual. It's my fault. Yeah, I mean, it's one of my big faults, right? Got a hypothetical for you. Let's say in my county, where I used to live or where I live now, whatever, in my county, there's been a lot of shooting going on. It's rural counties, you know, like around Tennessee, and there's just a lot of target shooters. You hear it in the video sometimes. Neighbors are shooting, and it's all over the county. People just like to shoot. Well, times have changed. A lot of people moved in from other larger cities and, you know, from the Northeast and different places, California, even here, and they've actually worked themselves onto the county commission. And they're definitely not gun lovers. They don't see any use for it. There's too much shooting going on. They hear people shooting like early in the morning sometimes, and they see people shooting, and it looks dangerous to them. They don't think they're being safe. They hear about a couple of incidents in the county where someone dropped a gun in Walmart. Maybe one went off or something. They're just anti-gun. There's enough people now on the county commission where they want to do away with all this target shooting, this gun play as they call it. And they've actually got some clout. They're highly educated people, and they have some influence, and they've got some more people that moved into the county to support them. They voted them in. Some of it's based on their anti-gun, you know, feelings and notions. Well, they've got a bill together that's going to outlaw target shooting and most hunting in the county. Okay? No target shooting. Unless you're hunting or it's a self-defense situation, leave your guns in the house. Go to an official range somewhere. Just because you've got property or you've got a friend with 50 acres or whatever, we can't have this shooting all around the county. Okay? You go to the next county or Nashville or somewhere in an indoor shooting range, and you do your shooting there. It's just too dangerous. So they got a bill proposed where shooting is no longer legal on your own property or even anybody else's, unless it's an official shooting range. And they don't even like those. And they've got enough support to pass this thing. Okay? So I get involved because it's so totally stupid, and my county commissioner thinks it's totally stupid, but he's kind of outnumbered now. The county demographics have just changed, even though it's still very rural. He suggests we get a lawyer. We form an association, so we do. We call it, and because I've got a little bit of a name, we call it the Hickok Firearms Association. Okay, we hire an attorney, and he's fighting for us. But again, the numbers are against us. They've got this bill; they're drafting it up. We get involved. I get involved with my lawyer, and so some of the people on the commission have a little respect for me, and they said, "Well, you help us write it. Maybe we can do something here." And I say, they tell me it's gonna pass. My lawyer advised me, look, this is it. I'm sorry, you know, we can't fight this off. I said, well, let me talk to some of them. Let me come to meetings again and talk to them, and they're just not gonna budge. And so, you know, well, there we go. I said, well, what about, you know, I've always been respectful. I don't shoot before 10 in the morning, and I don't shoot after dark. So you need to. You know, so I suggest that. I said, well, we're going to lose the right to shoot. I said, what about if what about this? What if we kind of meet you all halfway? I said, what if we don't shoot? We agree not to shoot. You can make it illegal, whatever you want to do, but we will not shoot before, say, 10 o'clock in the morning or 9 o'clock, whatever, in the morning, or after dark. You know, well, okay, they don't like that. They don't like disturbing people going to church and everything else and all that. So, well, okay, what if, so they're not really listening to me. Well, what if, well, hey, I understand. Somebody shooting next to a church somewhere, right in there, no shooting between 10 and noon on Sunday, okay? No target shooting between 10 and noon on Sunday, all right? I can live with that. Okay, and I can live with no shooting before 9 o'clock in the morning and no shooting after dark. Don't do it anyway, and most people don't. All right, I don't know how the hunters will like that or whatever, but you know, for target shooting, I guess we can live with that if we're going to lose target shooting altogether. Okay, So then they start writing that up, and they say some stupid things about what types of firearms could be shot and all this stupid thing. So I have to actually help them write the thing to keep them honest, all right? So we end up with a bill where, okay, you cannot shoot before 9 in the morning, you cannot shoot after dark, you cannot target shoot between 10 and 12 on Sundays, and there's no other restrictions. And then the Hickok Shooting Association or Firearm Association and my attorneys and I, we all get together. We got, of course, a lot of support from other shooters in the county, and we have some arguing among the group, and some don't like it, some do, but we see there's no way around it. You know, we're either going to not be able to shoot at all, or we're going to have to go with that. All right. So that's my hypothetical, and so we get that passed. All right. And of course, we're much more vigilant now. We've got the association together and everything, but that's the way it is. That's the new law. Well, that works out pretty well. It doesn't really affect me. I maybe on a Sunday, you know, because if I'm here, I'll shoot, you know, not thinking about it. You know, it's not a big deal. I've got a place to shoot. I can shoot almost any time. Shooting, you know, really early in the morning, I've never done. I don't shoot after dark, and, you know, and all that. It might affect some things, but so okay, there we are. That's the new world. Well, what's going to happen? Here's what's going to happen with that. There's going to be people moving into the county, shooters or people who just were clueless about it all. They're all of a sudden, they're going to be blaming me, aren't they, in the Hickok Firearms Association for banning shooting before 9 o'clock in the morning. Somebody wanted to come out, they were going to a match and they needed to take a shot or something before they went somewhere, or went hunting, needed sighting their rifle before they went somewhere to drive, and it was 8:30, and they get in trouble. You know, they get fined or something. Well, you know who's responsible for that? Hickok. He's responsible for that. Some people want to have a shooting match or do some shooting on Sunday, and between 10 and 12, and what do you mean we can't shoot? Somebody new to the county or whatever, somebody that was clueless. Well, we used to be able to do that, you know, before Hickok, and the Hickok Firearms Association wrote up a law that we couldn't do that. Yeah, can you believe it? You've seen his videos? Yeah, that's him. He's responsible for that. He's the reason you cannot shoot between 10 and 12. He wrote that law. He banned shooting from 10 to 12 on Sunday. He sure did. He banned shooting after dark too. You know, and sometimes in the winter it's dark early and you just want to turn the lights on and take a few shots. Because of Hickok, you can't do that anymore. Yep, that's it. Let's make a video and trash him. Yep, that would happen, wouldn't it? Like it doesn't already. But that would happen. Yep, there'd be videos. There'd be people posting. That would just be common knowledge on the internet, the local Tennessee internet, or the internet, how Hickok banned shooting a lot of the shooting opportunities, you know, in his county. You know, he's really kind of anti-gun. He's really anti-Second Amendment. The Hickok Firearms Association it's out to ban your guns next. That's what they're doing. That's what they're working towards, it looks like. You know, so think about the conspiracy theories that would come out of that. And for decades, it would, among some people, the Hickok Firearms Association would be the evil force that banned shooting on Sunday every time it came up from 10 to 12 on Sunday. Yeah. So just an example of kind of how things work. If you really are involved, you really know what's going on, and you do want to get in there and help write those laws. You want to be in on that. If you have any influence, you want to be in on it. If something's going to happen, you know, just like if we were going to lose our semi-automatics, you know, same thing nationally. Say the Hickok 45 or the Hickok Firearms Association got really big. It was national. And we're about to lose semi-automatics. You know, the anti-gunners, they've infiltrated every state as is happening as we speak. We're about to be like Australia. We're about to lose it. We're about to lose semi-automatic rifles and then probably semi-automatic handguns. It's going to happen. It's just the demographics, it's the numbers. It's just to that point. What if the Hickok Firearms Association, you know, is so involved in that, we get in so involved, we realize it's going to happen. There's no way around it, and we propose. There's that awful word, compromise. What if we crank down to a 20-round limit on magazines? All Okay, it's the only way we're going to keep an AR-15 or anything that fires semi-automatic. Yeah, in my hypothetical, it's the only way that they're going to exist legally. Okay, now we could have a civil war or whatever you might rather have, but the only way we're going to keep them legally is if we crank down to 20 rounds. So in talking with the politicians and the Schumers and the Feinsteins of the world, which by that time there are probably a lot more of them, we conclude without a doubt there's no way they're going to be legal unless we do that. All right, same thing. Well, why are we just having 20 rounds now? It's because of the Hickok Firearm Association. They wrote the law. They're responsible. So anyway, I don't know. That's all kind of silly, but I just want to let you know how kind of some things work if you were not aware of that. It's not like the Hickok Firearms Association or Hickok was walking through the woods one day and he said, you know what? I don't think we should allow shooting on Sunday from 10 to 12. Or, you know what? It just occurred to me out of the blue that we shouldn't be allowed to shoot before 9 o'clock in the morning or after dark. I think I'll see if I can get a law passed about that. Things like that don't come about that way. So for young people, for people who are not just totally into the drama of all this, just wanted to kind of lay that out for you. That's one way that some of the things have happened. It's an inability to prevent something from happening. Okay? It's not, hey, let's write a law. Duh. Okay? As I use an example you might have seen on the internet, I said, well, yeah, you can blame the GOA or the Second Amendment Foundation or the NRA. You can blame an organization for anything that gets passed on. But in a way, it's like blaming the Nashville Fire Department, the Metro Fire Department, for every house that burns. I mean, they're doing their best to prevent anything from burning. And just because something burns, there might be a massive fire downtown today, and a huge hotel is just gone. Is that the Nashville Fire Department's fault? So anyway, just some things to think about. I'm not the authority on all this, and I don't know everything, but it's just something to think about for people who have not thought about that. But because it's got to occur to you, if you really are somebody who thinks the NRA is out to ban guns and they're for more gun control, that's kind of why they exist. I see comments like that. If you're really of that thinking, where does that come from? That's like Sandy Hook thinking almost. You think all the 5 million members of the NRA, the board of directors, and everybody who's involved and supports the NRA is just totally clueless and stupid? I don't know. So anyway, that's my little defense of not necessarily the NRA. It's my defense of people who support the NRA or support anything, or who don't support certain conspiracies. There's just a lot of smart people out there who would be in your camp if it made sense. Okay? And I'm not meaning to insult you. There are a lot of smart people, intelligent people, even very analytical, thinking people who have come to a conclusion maybe about a gun rights group, NRA or whatever it is, or Sandy Hook or 9/11, that what they think and the conclusions they have come to seem pretty crazy to other people, but they really have thought it out. So I don't mean to insult people who really do think, okay, about things and analyze things, but there's just so many people who, do I need to tell you, who are just such shallow thinkers about things. At least think deeply about things and think about all sides of something as best you can. Then if you do your research and you come to a conclusion that seems crazy to a lot of people, at least you got there through some thinking about it. Okay, that's enough. I've spent too much time on that. I'm sorry, but I just wanted to say that. I think, wow, there's some people out there must think I'm a total idiot. John's a total, as well as millions and millions and millions of other people are total idiots for some of the things you see. So anyway. That's enough on that. I'll shut up about it. Let me talk about SHOT Show. SHOT Show is SHOT Show. John and I still go to it. We don't have to, but it's kind of our trip of the year. And we go out west and we visit a lot of other things. The SHOT Show is just part of the trip, really. And so we don't go out there to make videos, you know, sorry. We don't do the booth, never did do the booth videos. Our content comes from here on the range, you know, and me yakking at you. We're not going to put a camera in somebody's face to let them do an infomercial. You know, to me, that's not very good. Although sometimes you get some information about our new Firearm. Sorry, the wind's blowing, it's picking up. But by and large, you know, we've never done that. And we don't even take a camera in there with us. I don't know why we go as media. I don't know if we haven't been in the press room, I think, in about 2 years, but we go to SHOT Show. And it's like the NRA meeting. It's a great grouping of so many firearms people. You know, that's the beauty of it. And then, of course, every firearm that's ever made is there, at least newer ones, so modern ones. So it's great. It's a great thing to attend. And what else about it? Oh, yeah, I'll tell you, before I forget, guess who I ran into? Well, I posted a picture on Instagram of me with this other old guy whom I didn't recognize at first, but his name is none other than Clint Smith. Yeah, luminary Clint Smith. Was standing there talking to, I was heading down to the hall by myself, actually the exhibit hall, and one morning, and somebody stopped me to give me some surefire flashlights, which I still don't understand who he was and all of that, you know. but and James Yeager was standing there. I talked to him for a minute, and I had run into him a couple of times, and I don't know, somebody else and some people wanted a picture, and it was just all happened kind of fast, but I was there talking to these folks for a little while. It was funny, and then I was really kind of ready to walk away, and there was an older guy standing there, and I think he had said a couple things. Maybe I didn't hear him, and he started talking, and it was like being in the Twilight Zone. I said, oh my gosh, who is that? I know that voice. Who is that? It took me a second for it to sink in. That's Clint Smith. You was standing there, you know. So it was great to meet him, and he was familiar with the videos and me, and I was slightly familiar with him, right? But I just told him I wasn't worthy, you know, and shook his hand. And it was great to chat with him a little bit. If you don't know who Clint Smith is, you are new to firearms, grab some gun magazines, look him up. One of the top trainers in the country and has been. Marine, former Marine. Remember, there is no ex-Marine. I've made that mistake before. But great guy, smart guy, and it was great to meet him, you know. So, and of course I had my picture taken with him, and you know, I get crazy when I meet somebody like that, you know, Masa Yub, you know, it's just, I mean, it just makes my day, you know. I mean, there are people out there that I don't worship anybody, but wow, I just, I get giddy if I get a chance to meet them, you know, and I want a picture with them. It's like people do with us, you know. It's kind of like when I met 22 Plinkster for the first time. I just had to have my picture with him because, wow, it's 22 Plinkster, and you don't run into people that ugly very often. So if you can get your picture with them and you can show it around, it makes you look better by contrast, right? I couldn't resist. That was a joke, yeah. Now, anyway, yeah, SHOT Show was fun, and John got a chance to do a little stand-up out that way in Tucson, and he did some open mics in Las Vegas. So Las Vegas is a crazy place. The West is beautiful. I've told you this before. If you ever can save up for a vacation, hopefully everybody does that, but some kind of vacation. It was on my bucket list for a long time. I could kick myself for not doing it earlier in my life. But if you can ever put, I don't know, you know, 2 weeks would be ideal, even a week, 10 days, but if you can put a couple of weeks together, save up enough vacation and money and everything to get in the car and just drive out through the West. It's one of the best vacations you could ever have. A lot of people spend their time, and I'm going to Europe or or Mexico or Canada, wherever they got some city they want to visit, and they save up and spend a ton of money to go do that, you know, a once in 10-year vacation or take a cruise or something. Hey, to me, forget all that. Get in the car. If you have to rent a nicer car or a bigger vehicle or whatever, a van, save up your money and do that. Just drive out through Texas and New Mexico and Arizona and Utah, go through Montana, Wyoming, South Dakota, maybe California. If you're a gun person, you might want to stay out of there. That's what I do. Nevada. I mean, it's just, and I'm leaving out some states, of course, but it's just so dramatic. Some of you live out there don't think that much about it. Excuse me, talking too much. But you gotta do that. I highly recommend it. John and I have done it for 6 years now. As I've told you, last year we went up to Mecca, to Ogden, Utah, where John Browning did his stuff. And Utah is like this unbelievable place. Just to drive through there is a vacation. It's unreal. But anyway, great trip, and we do that every year, and always look forward to it. A lot of time in the car, but it's worth it. I mean, I'm just spellbound driving through the desert, the mountains, and it never gets old. Yeah, it really doesn't. It never gets old. So we had a good time out there. Saw some of the new guns, of course, the new Glocks and the new FN 509 midsize, and a lot of others we probably didn't see, but we all saw the new Mossberg, what is it, MC1 or something, the pistol. They're making a handgun. We'll get one in and try it out. We got the Glock 43X in and the Glock 48 that's here waiting for us. We've been shooting them for a week or so. We've shot them quite a bit, and we'll be posting videos on both of them coming up pretty soon. Since y'all are watching this, I'll tell you that we like them okay. Don't see a big need for, especially the 43X. If you're thinking about buying one of them, I'd go shoot them. Our take is similar, John and mine. And the reason our take is similar on a lot of firearms is not because he's my son. It's because, like I said, he's definitely he doesn't agree with me on some things, and he likes music I don't like, and all that. He's his own person, of course, and thinks outside the box for sure, and is definitely not worried what other people think. He's probably been more that way than I am. But on firearms, we most of the time we tend to agree on them because we both have so much experience with so many different firearms. I guess is one reason. But and our priorities are kind of the same with firearms, I guess. But here's the way I place the 43X and the new 48. The way these things were announced and the way you started hearing about them was, okay, the Glock 43X, that's the big one because it's a Glock 43 with more capacity, and everybody knows the Glock 43 is very successful. A lot of people really like it, but it is kind of low capacity. Now we got one holds 10 rounds, 10 plus 1, and so that's where most of the hoopla was. The 48 is like an afterthought, the way I was hearing about it. Oh yeah, and there's also this other one, the 48, okay. But here's the way I see both of those firearms, because, and I think I say this in the videos, they both have the same long grip. The grip is the same length as a Glock 19, okay, in order to get 10 rounds in there, single stack, more or less, all right? So they're not pocket guns, either one of them. So here's the way I look at it. Glock has come out with a Glock 48, which is a slim Glock 19. Basically is what it is. It's a slim Glock 19, single stack Glock 19. Same profile, same length on the grip and the slide. Okay? That's what a Glock 48 is. The Glock 43X is the same gun, except it has a shorter slide. Really. It ought to be called something different almost in my mind, and not even associated with the Glock 43 really. Okay? It's really a Glock 48 with a shorter slide. So think of it that way if you're thinking about getting one. If you're carrying a Glock 43 in your pocket or any kind of pocket, and oh yeah, I'd like one with more capacity, well, Yeah, wouldn't we all maybe? Better get a SIG P365 then, because the Glock 43X it's got the long grip, so it's not a pocket gun, it's a belt gun. So if I were going to buy one of those myself, I don't know if I have a use for either one of them. Definitely not the 43X. If I were going to buy one of those, it would be the Glock 48. It would be because I want a lighter, thinner, belt pistol. Yeah, which they're both belt pistols. For me, for carry, if you're going to carry it. Some pistols are not belt pistols for anybody because they don't carry. They can't carry legally, or they don't want to, or live in a country where you can't, or one of our non-free states where you can't, like New York City or whatever it is. But so anyway, that's just the way to think about those guns, I think. And that's the way I think about them. And as I've said before, and I hope you're all getting this. Hope you're getting this now. The way I think is the correct way to think, right? Okay, I don't have to tell you that was a joke because you know me by now. So anyway, what else? I've shot the FN 509 midsize, just one range session with it. I didn't shoot it enough yet. We haven't done a video with it yet. I haven't shot it a lot yet. I've shot it some, and I kind of like it. I like the 509. My first impressions were, oh great, this is perfect. I didn't shoot it really well to begin with. It was, I don't know what else I was doing that day, so I need to shoot it some more, and that was kind of an aberration maybe, and I just need to shoot it because that 509, the regular one, boy, it's hard to miss with it for me. And I don't think shortening the grip would have made a difference like that because it's really not much shorter. Okay, it's not much shorter at all. I need to put it next to my Glock 19. I'm not sure you've got the same situation as you have with a Glock 17 versus Glock 19 in terms of grip length. I need to put them side by side. The FN 509 midsize seems longer in the grip than a Glock 19. It doesn't seem much different. I did compare it with my full-size 509, and boy, there's not much difference. Okay, so but I need to shoot it some more, and I'll let you know what I think about it, okay? Because I know you want to know my stupid thoughts on that too. What else we've been doing? We did, you probably don't know, I have a Glock, or not a Glock. I got a Glock on my brain, sorry. I know, I'm preoccupied with Glock. But you know what I've been carrying though for the last 3 months, and some of you already know this, it's, let me make sure, yeah, we're still recording. My SIG 365, after that first video, I didn't want one for a long time because so many people were having trouble with them, it looked like, on the internet. I mean, it was to the point where there's obviously a problem with this gun. Now, again, back to my earlier discussion, I've been around a while. I don't get too excited about what I see on the internet unless it's a lot of people, and I mean really a lot of people, a lot of sources. As I've reminded you before, and you know this, a small group of fervent people, really excited people, look up fervent, a small group of fervent people can seem a whole lot bigger than it really is on social media. That should be emblazoned in everybody's brain really these days, written on their phone and on their computer. A small group of crazies, or whatever you would call it, not necessarily crazies, but a small group of fervent people on any topic, negative or positive, that group can seem a lot bigger than it really is. Yeah, whether it's about the NRA or the GOA or Sandy Hook, or it's about Donald Trump, or it's about Barack Obama, or it's about whatever it's about, okay? A small group can seem a lot bigger than it really is. And it's something to think about. It's kind of important. I'm getting off topic again, but it's important because it can lead you down paths and directions of thinking, because we're used to in our world, in the real world where I grew up, I've been on the internet a long time, but I had 40 years of non-internet life, 45 years, So if all of a sudden everybody in my neighborhood, it seems a lot of people in my neighborhood are saying something, well, you give that some credibility. Or a lot of, when I say a lot, what do I mean? Well, even 10 or 20% of people or that you encounter in the day, like at work or in school or wherever, they're all excited about something. negative or positive, well, there must be something to that, right? Yeah, it's kind of just common sense. There must be something to it. If 10% of my classmates, I'm in college, are upset about something going on at school or at the university, the administration, it's wow, it seems like a lot of people upset about that. There must be something to it, maybe a lot, okay? But it's different on the internet. It's just different. That with us early on, I'm getting long here, I know, but we had to remind ourselves as we got a bigger audience early on that just because we saw some comments about whatever it is, negative or positive, we needed to remind ourselves, okay, don't give too much credit to that yet, because it's just the people posting on that topic. And of the 100,000 people or the million people that watched that video, how many people even left a comment? And of the people who left a comment, if you've got 5 or 6 comments saying whatever it is, that's such an infinitesimal percentage of people that saw that video or even commented. So you end up with the tail wagging the dog if you're not careful, So just something to remember. Small group can seem like a big group, and it's not necessarily what the situation really is. Okay, now before I got off topic, what was I talking about? I was talking about I was about to tell you about, I think what happened was I got off topic, then I got off that topic. But let's just back up to the Charter Arms firearm. Oh, I know what I was talking about, I think. I was about to tell you about the On Target that we did a video with that I've been shooting that I own, you don't know about yet. But I think I got off on Glock and how I'm not necessarily just a Glock fan, because I've been carrying this little firearm. It's not hot, but because I knew I'd pull it out. But I love this P365, I know what I was talking about, how on the internet, see, I told you my IQ is not very high, but I can get by if I really work at it. I was telling you about how I was seeing comments on the internet about it enough that seemed credible that I didn't trust it. So I didn't buy one and just waited really until recently. Because I've also been following it on the internet and in gun shops asking about it, and it seems like a lot of believable, credible people, it's just working great for them. Just working great for them, and gun shops are not getting them back. They're not seeing problems. I think it's time. And I've read what the things they've tweaked on it. I thought, okay, I'm ready to jump in, because I really liked it when we did that video on it, and I still like it. I've been shooting mine. John's got one. We've been shooting them, and no problems. So we'll see how it goes. So I don't always drink the Glock Kool-Aid. That's what I'm getting at. I like them, but I like those two, the stupid 43X and the stupid Glock 48. All right, you might see no purpose for them. Maybe I don't, but the dumb things work. We shot both of them a lot. Never a malfunction. Yeah, that's the beauty of a Glock, okay? So what else? The On Target Charter Arms. It's got the concealed hammer. And we're getting a lot of wind. Can you hear me? I don't want you to miss any profound comments. But the Charter Arms is a neat little gun that has it's the Bulldog version with the concealed hammer, but you can still get a hold of it, kind of like the Bodyguard, the old Bodyguard Smith & Wesson. Probably didn't know I've had that thing for a good while, and I've actually used it I have carried it defensively a time or two. I haven't had to use it. What else? Oh yeah, we did a Bushmaster, 450 Bushmaster. We tell you about it in the video, and I think I've told you before. We got the semi-automatic Ruger, what was it, MPR, multi-purpose AR-15. It's the AR-556, and we had a lot of trouble with it. We couldn't even do a video with it. Okay, I told the marketing guys at SHOT Show at Ruger, at the Ruger booth, about that, and we just sent it back. I bought 2 magazines for it, so I had 3 mags, and with any of the mags, it wasn't a magazine problem, apparently. It would just malfunction. So it was so bad we couldn't do a video with it. So watch for the video on those. So anyway, I was all ready to do the 450 Bushmaster and had the ammo I got and everything, and I was just psyched up to shoot the thing, and it was frustrating. And I just tried too many times. I just sent it back. I'll get another one or something. So I don't want to even deal with one of those for a while. And I ordered from Bud's a requested the Ruger American Ranch, rifle and 450 Bushmaster, the bolt gun. I said, oh, surely that will work fine. I've got this ammo and I want to shoot this cartridge. It's kind of neat, So that's what it did, and we did a video with it recently. You'll see it, and it worked fine. And I'm sure when we get another MPR, AR-556, and 450 Bushmaster, it will work fine, as I say in the video. So we always let you know what's going on. We're transparent about that, just like when we had the Ruger American that we had trouble with, sent it back, couldn't even do a video with the thing. Then when we got one in, it worked. We told you about it, okay? About the problems we had with the other one. And in the video we did with the bolt gun, I explained all the stuff I'm explaining to you right now. So we're really concerned about, we're not concerned, but it's one of our main drives is to be transparent with you guys, okay? You basically know, within reason, all that kind of information. Any firearm that was ever given to us, about it, where we get firearms, all that sort of thing. We've never done paid reviews. Do I need to even say that? Never been paid by a gun company. In fact, at the SHOT Show, I do this occasionally. The Glock people have gotten a lot better lately. Maybe it's because there's more competition. They're more friendly. I've noticed that at NRA meetings and at SHOT Show. And it's funny. I was talking with one of the reps at the Glock booth, and I just out of the clear blue. I think I've done it before. I said, by the way, where are my checks? Are they going to the wrong address? I haven't seen a check lately. I was just serious as a heart attack, and he just looked and smiled, I said, well, a lot of people are they're so certain that we're being paid and have always been paid by Glock, and I just wonder where my checks are. But in fact, I've asked people, and what I've started doing when someone accuses me of being paid by Glock, recently I just answered, I think it was in a comment, I said, hey, won't you do me a favor? I don't want to bother Glock, they're trying to run a business, but I said, won't you call Glock and ask them where my checks are? And see if you can find somebody there who has ever cut me a check or us a check. No, anyway, that's the way the world works. One thing before I forget too, before I let you go, gosh, I've gone long. That's okay. We're finding we're having trouble posting a lot of our videos on full 30 anyway, and so these just don't go on full 30. And so main thing is YouTube. Sorry for the frustration. If you are a full 30 person and you're looking for videos over there, like all of our videos, or anytime we post again, you'd rather watch it there rather than support YouTube. I'm sorry. It's just. YouTube is where they're going to be, maybe on full 30, but definitely YouTube. What I was going to say is, I don't know, about a month ago, there started being even a bigger uptake in views and subscribers and new subscribers and everything. My gosh, some days it's 4,000, 3,000, 3,500 new subscribers a day, and over 1 million views, in a day across the videos, and anywhere from 500,000 to 1 million or 1,200,000. It's just it's crazy. You're not crazy. You're very smart for watching. But anyway, the growth is not only still there, it's bigger than ever. And I just wanted to welcome the new people, okay? Because probably some of you are watching a Shooting the Breeze for the first time. And you're probably wondering why you're watching it by this point, if you're still there, right? Well, it's my chance just to yak at you, okay? We appreciate your coming aboard, and hope you find something worthwhile to watch. I'm sure every video is not your cup of tea, and you'll probably be one of those guys that'll say, or gals, that, wow, you talk too much or whatever, but that's okay. It's just the way we do it. Just welcome aboard, and glad to have you. I don't know where so many of you are coming from, but we're glad to have you. Welcome. So I'll let you go. I don't know if I told you much about this. Again, the U.S. Cavalry, it's not loaded, but it won't be loaded unless I'm ready to shoot it. I don't know if you can see the U.S. on that, but it's a U.S. Cavalry revolver made in 1883. And I've always wanted one. There's my timer going off, so I've spent way too much time talking to you. .45 Colt. Imagine that. You know, these guns were issued. It's the reason they're called the Single Action Army. Colt Single Action Army is they were the military assault pistol from 1873 until 1892, I believe. And this is what soldiers carried if they carried a handgun, and the cavalry especially, they were issued them first, I believe. And this is one of them. So that's pretty cool, and it's in pretty good shape. And of course, they can range a wide price range depending on condition and all that, and when they were made. And you can see somebody used this one to hammer a tack, just like in the Western movies. Used it for a hammer. So as John said, being the comedian he is, that this one literally is a tack driver. Right, get it? So this is cool. This is a holy grail. I can't beat this in terms of my Colt single action, collecting. Okay, so have not fired it yet. Not fired it. So I got it at the Antique Gun Show in Las Vegas. So last year I came home with the 1886. It was made in 1886. You've seen it, and told you about taking it up to Ogden, Utah on that trip after we left there, trying to find the ghost of John Browning to just to sanction it and to check it out, since he invented it. But anyway, so it was a great trip to SHOT Show. We got to see a lot of firearms, met a lot of you, as I said, somewhere already at the show and along the route, because we were out for almost 2 weeks, or over 2 weeks actually. And so whether it was at a gas station or a restaurant, it was good to meet you. As I've said many times, don't ever hesitate to say hi. I don't think I've ever had anybody approach me that I regretted it, that was obnoxious or anything like that, ever. Out of the thousands and thousands of people that I run into that watch the videos over the years, so always say hi. Don't ever feel like you're bothering me. I get so many messages from people, after I've maybe been in a restaurant or been anywhere. They say, hey, I saw you pumping gas today, or I saw you eating and I didn't want to bother you, or whatever, like your videos or something. Yeah, well, you could have come by and said hi. It's not a problem. But anyway, good to see you, good to talk to you. I hope the wind hasn't drowned out much of my voice and all the brilliant things I've shared with you. And I hope you understood my little story I told at the beginning. I don't know if that made sense, but again, for people that are not drinking, choking on the Kool-Aid on either side, that are just kind of trying to get a grasp of things and how things work, and why would an organization that proposes or professes to be for one thing be totally for something else, as some people are saying on the internet, just wondering what to think, because you're kind of new to the sport, or to firearms, or to supporting gun rights organizations. So as always, I advise you to look back through my radio shows and everywhere. I would say join the NRA first, join your state organizations first, join those, and then whatever else you can afford. I'm a life member of the NRA, the Gun Owners of America, Second Amendment Foundation, Tennessee Firearms Association, the National Muzzleloading Rifle Association. I don't remember if I think I'm a life member of the Jews for the Preservation of Firearms Ownership. I think I joined for life in that. I remember it wasn't much either way as far as how much it costs. I think I joined for life. I'm not sure. I don't want to tell you something that's not true, but definitely true on all the others. And there's probably some others I should join. Again, I'm not a saint. It's just something we can do if we can afford it. It's just something we can do. Okay. And John and I have been lucky in having so many viewers, and so I can afford to do that right now. And so I did it. It's a way to give back. It's a way to give back. Basically, you all are responsible for my ability to do that, and to even bring things to the show that we bring to. It's because so many of you view the show, and we have so much support. I mean, it's just it just all works, together. So anyway, let me know if anything I said today makes sense. Because I know the trolls will let me know if it doesn't make any sense. Well, maybe it didn't. Maybe you're not a troll. So anyway, I'll talk to you later. I'll shut up now. How arrogant can somebody be that they think they can talk to a camera in the woods or wherever for, oh man, over an hour, I guess, and think people are going to listen to them? Whew. That might be the height of arrogance. I don't know. But anyway, actually it's not. I think not many people are going to listen anyway, so I might as well just keep talking, So I appreciate y'all watching the videos, and appreciate you even listening to these and watching these, because it does give me a chance to just yak. I know I ramble too much in some videos, but usually we're kind of on topic about a firearm, even though I ramble too much as we're going through it maybe, just being myself. In this, you don't have to watch them, and so I just, feel freer to do that. Yeah, we don't have that little button clicked where it's mandatory to watch these as we do on all the other videos. That's what that implied, didn't it? So anyway, I appreciate your support, and I love it when you support the people that support us. Let them know, let us know. It just all works together. We try to be smart about things. That's not easy when you're not smart, but we try to be smart about things. We try not to do dumb things, okay? And I'm just glad that a lot of you watch, and some of you are way too complimentary, but it is rewarding to know that so many of you do get something from the videos, and if you're a new shooter and it's about guns, and I probably don't even realize it sometimes, talking about a firearm or about different things, just because I've been shooting for so long, that sometimes I inadvertently and don't even realize that I'm passing along some little piece of useful information, maybe occasionally. I just don't even realize it. I forget what it's like to just be started early into the firearms hobby, maybe, and what it's like to not know anything about what, I forget there's so many people out there, like right now, some of you even watching this, you don't know what the difference is between a 45 Colt and a 45 ACP cartridge, for example, maybe, or even a firearm. It's still confusing to you. So I kind of forget about that, so I'm sure I talk over some people's heads sometimes. And I can't help it, I'm 6'8". Hey, I should do stand-up, right? Anyway, appreciate y'all, and I'll shut up, okay? And I'll probably see you in the next video. So, you know what I'm going to finish with, and then I'm not just making it up, because when you get to shoot almost any firearm you want to, and you can trade around and obtain almost any firearm you want to, and you really do enjoy shooting, and you really enjoy firearms, and you have a deep appreciation for firearms and old firearms and history, life is good.